There are loads more bedtime stories on BBC iPlayer. Just search CBeebies Bedtime Stories.
CBeebies Bedtime Story.
Hello, I'm David, and this is my friend, Teddy. Teddy has an important job, but can you guess what his job might be? I'll give you a clue. He's wearing a white jacket and a stethoscope. That's right, Teddy's a doctor. But Teddy also has another important job. When the world needs saving, who do we call? It's superhero Teddy. What a cool job, Teddy. I'd love to be a superhero. Probably a lot of work, but worth it. In tonight's bedtime story, we meet a little girl called Daisy who's telling her friends all about her dad's job. It's called What Does Daddy Do? And it's written and illustrated by Rachel Bright. This is Daisy. Every day except Wednesday, Daisy's daddy takes her to Little Nipper's nursery before he goes to work.
Yay!
At 8 o'clock, he calls upstairs. "Are you ready, princess? Time to go." And Daisy calls back, "Yes, Daddy, let's go." They climb into the car, and Daddy says, "All safe and belted up?" And Daisy says, "Yes, Daddy, let's go." And in a go when the lights are green vroom of the engine, they get to nursery in no time at all. Then, after a big cuddle, Daisy waves goodbye until Daddy's car disappears around the corner. And for just a little bit longer after that. At nursery, Daisy has 3 best friends, Dexter, Evie, and Bob. They always play together, and they talk about important things they know. One Tuesday, when they were building a giant sandcastle, Dexter suddenly stood up and in a very loud voice said, "Did you know? My daddy is a fireman. He has a big red truck with a round and round light. It goes, nee-naw, nee-naw, nee-naw. He squirts water at fires and rescues people and sometimes kittens." "Well," said Evie, "my daddy is a doctor. He makes sicky people better, and he listens to their hearts go boom boom, and he has 14 pencils in a tub." And then Bob said, "Well, my daddy is a teacher. He makes children very clever, and he knows everything about everything, especially volcanoes." "Does he?" said Daisy. "Yes," said Bob, "he does. What does your daddy do?" Thought Daisy. What does Daddy do? Daisy knew that Daddy left in the morning in a smart stripy suit, wearing nice shiny shoes that go click on the floor. And he always took his special case, the one that pops open when the secret numbers match. And she knew he came back at 5:25 to pick her up and say, "Hello, sweetheart, have you had a nice day?" But what about all the time in between? What does Daddy do? Thought Daisy. What does Daddy do? And then she remembered. "My daddy is an explorer," said Daisy. "Is he?" said Evie. "Yes, he is," said Daisy. "He climbs to the highest of high-up places because he has mountains of paperwork to get on top of." "And he is a knight," said Daisy. "Is he?" gulped Dexter. "Yes, he is," said Daisy. "He fights a big, scary monster every single day because his boss is a dragon. And he is a superhero." "Like Superman?" gasped Bob. "Yes," said Daisy, "because he has to rescue people from a big board room, and he always has to fly. But he has one job that is much more important." "But what's more important than being an explorer super knight?" said Evie and Dexter and Bob. "Well," said Daisy, "he's my daddy, and that is what he does."
Daddy!
What a lovely story. Daisy's dad does have the most important job in the world, not fighting dragons or climbing mountains or even working in an office, but just being a dad. I love being a dad, and one of my favorite things about being a dad is when it's time for bed. And we read books, and we sing songs sometimes, but ultimately, we go to bed. And right now, it's time for bed. You too, Teddy. Even superheroes need their sleep. Good night.
There are loads more bedtime stories on BBC Sounds. Just search CBeebies Bedtime Stories.